You thought that simple DIY fix would save you a trip to the mechanic, but instead it just caused a $1,000 problem. It's an absolute nightmare. That quick Saturday morning project suddenly turns into a catastrophic failure on the side of the road. The truth is, some of the most common and seemingly easy home repairs can cause massive damage if you make just one tiny mistake. You think you're saving a few bucks, but you're actually setting yourself up for a bill that could spiral into the thousands. As a mechanic who's spent years pulling his hair out over these exact situations, I'm about to expose the 5 DIY fixes that are secretly destroying your car. And more importantly, I'll show you exactly what to do to avoid a massive soul-crushing repair bill. Come on, we've all been there. You pop the hood, watch a couple of videos, and think, yeah, I can do that. And honestly, sometimes you can. Changing an air filter or swapping out wiper blades is a great way to get your hands dirty. But the internet is flooded with tutorials that make complex jobs look way too simple. And that's where the real danger is. The difference between a successful repair and a dead engine often comes down to 1 or 2 details those videos just forgot to mention. I've seen the aftermath firsthand. I've seen brand new parts fail because of a simple oversight and engines completely seize from a moment of carelessness. These aren't just freak accidents. They're the predictable results of very common mistakes. So, we're going to count down from number 5 to the single most destructive DIY mistake I see in my shop. And you're going to want to stick around for number 1 because it's a mistake millions of car owners make, thinking they're doing the right thing. Mistake number 5, the simple oil change sabotage. Coming in at number 5 is the first repair most people ever try, the oil change. Seems foolproof, right? Drain the old stuff, spin on a new filter, pour in the new oil. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as it turns out, a lot. The first disaster point is the drain plug. I've seen people treat it like they're tightening a lug nut on a monster truck. They grab the biggest wrench they can find and just crank on it with all their might. But here's the thing. That oil pan is usually made of thin steel or aluminum, and over-tightening the plug will strip the threads clean out. Suddenly, your $30 oil change has ballooned into a $500 oil pan replacement, all because you gave it that one extra good and tight grunt. The second catastrophe in waiting is the oil filter gasket. Sometimes when you unscrew the old filter, its little rubber gasket stays stuck to the engine block. A rookie DIYer won't even think to look, and they'll just spin the new filter right on top of it. We call this double gasketing, and it creates a seal that's a ticking time bomb. You might not see a leak at first, but once the engine gets hot and the oil pressure builds, that seal will blow. We're talking about your engine's entire oil supply dumping onto the pavement in seconds. If you're on the highway when that happens, your engine will be starved of oil and toast before you can even pull over. The fix here is all about precision, not brute force. First, always double-check that the old gasket came off with the old filter. It's a 2-second check that can save you a $5,000 engine. Second, get yourself a torque wrench. Your car's manual lists the exact torque spec for the drain plug for a reason. Don't guess. Tighten it to spec, and you'll never strip an oil pan again. Mistake number 4, playing chemical roulette with your fluids. At number 4, we have a mistake usually born from good intentions. Topping off your car's fluids. You see a reservoir is low, so you grab a bottle of something and pour it in. The problem is, using the wrong fluid is like giving your car a transfusion with the wrong blood type. The result is a violent, system-wide rejection that can be absolutely catastrophic. The number 1 victim here? The automatic transmission. Transmission fluid is not a one-size-fits-all deal. It's a highly engineered liquid with specific additives made for your exact transmission. Grabbing the wrong type, or worse, mistaking it for another fluid entirely, can burn up the clutches and cause the whole unit to overheat and fail. I once had a customer who needed a $4,000 transmission rebuild because their well-meaning friend topped them off with power steering fluid. They are not the same, and that one little mistake rendered the entire transmission useless. Brake fluid is another huge danger zone. It's designed to be hygroscopic, which is a fancy way of saying it absorbs water from the air. If you leave the cap off the master cylinder for too long, you compromise the whole system. Not to mention, brake fluid is incredibly corrosive. If you spill it or put it in the wrong reservoir, it will eat right through plastics and paint. Putting any other fluid into your brake system will cause the seals to swell and fail, leading to a complete and total loss of your brakes. The solution is simple, but you have to be religious about it. Read the manual and read the bottle. Your owner's manual tells you the exact spec for every single fluid your car needs. Always double-check that the bottle in your hand matches the spec in the book. When in doubt, just don't pour. It's way better to be a little low on fluid than to have a full reservoir of the wrong stuff destroying your car from the inside out. Mistake number 3, the check engine light trap. The third most destructive habit is something I call the check engine light trap. Your dashboard lights up with that dreaded orange glow, so you do the modern-day equivalent of kicking the tires. You buy a cheap code reader, plug it in, and it gives you a code for, let's say, an oxygen sensor. You think, aha, gotcha. You buy a new sensor, swap it out, and the light goes off. You feel like a genius for about a week until the light comes blazing back on. This is what we in the business call loading the parts cannon. You're just firing expensive new parts at a problem without ever figuring out the root cause. Here's the secret. That trouble code isn't telling you what part is broken, it's telling you what symptom the car's computer has noticed. An oxygen sensor code, for example, might not mean the sensor itself is bad. It could be triggered by a vacuum leak, a bad fuel injector, or even a clogged catalytic converter. By just replacing the sensor, you're not fixing the problem, you're just shooting the messenger. This wastes a ton of money and time as you replace part after part. All the while, the actual problem is getting worse. That small vacuum leak you ignored could be making your engine run lean, causing detonation that eventually leads to catastrophic engine damage. You were so focused on that $500 part, you missed the $5 hose that was the real culprit. The solution is to use that code reader as a starting point, not a final diagnosis. When you get a code, your next step is to research what that code actually means. Look at live data on your scanner, check for related symptoms. Is the engine idling rough? Is your gas mileage suddenly terrible? A real diagnosis is detective work. Replacing a part should be the last thing you do, not the first. If you're not ready to do that legwork, taking it to a pro is always the cheaper option in the long run. Trust me. Number 2, torque wrench neglect. Coming in at number 2 is a mistake that seems so small but has absolutely monumental consequences: ignoring torque specifications. In any modern car, nearly every single nut and bolt has a specific tightness or torque setting. Ignoring this is one of the fastest ways to cause a major failure. The most common place I see this is when people put on their wheels. Most just tighten the lug nuts until they can't physically turn the wrench anymore. This is incredibly dangerous. Over-tightening lug nuts will warp your brake rotors. When that happens, you'll feel a violent shaking through the steering wheel every time you hit the brakes. This is not only annoying, but it seriously reduces your stopping power, so now you need a brake job you didn't need before. On the flip side, if they're too loose, your wheel can literally fall off while you're driving down the road. This is even more critical for engine parts. Things like cylinder heads have complex multi-stage tightening sequences. You have to tighten specific bolts in a specific order to specific values. Mess that up and you're looking at blown head gaskets, vacuum leaks, and oil leaks. A head gasket repair can easily cost you over $2,000, all because the bolts weren't tightened in the right pattern. The solution here is non-negotiable: use a torque wrench. They are not just for pros. You can buy a perfectly good one for a reasonable price, and it's one of the most important tools you can possibly own. Look up the torque specs in your car's service manual and use them for everything, from your wheels to your spark plugs. Following the proper torque specs is the clearest line between an amateur who breaks things and a DIYer who does the job right. Mistake number 1, the DIY brake job disaster. And now for the number 1 most dangerous, destructive, and terrifyingly common DIY mistake I see: the botched brake job. Your brakes are, without question, the most critical safety system on your vehicle. The margin for error here is absolute zero, and yet people try this repair with a level of confidence that is honestly frightening. One of the simplest errors is just using cheap, low-quality brake pads and rotors. Sure, you might save $20 on a set of pads, but those cheap parts can overheat, wear out in no time, or just fail to provide the stopping power you need in an emergency. Even worse, I've seen people reuse old, worn-out hardware like clips and shims. That's a recipe for noise, improper pad movement, and eventually total brake failure. But the truly catastrophic mistakes happen during the install. Forgetting to lubricate the caliper slide pins is a huge one. Those pins let the brake caliper move freely. If they seize up, one of your brake pads gets stuck against the rotor. This will burn up the pad, destroy the rotor, and can cause the car to pull dangerously to one side when you brake. An even deadlier error is failing to properly bleed the brakes after you've opened the hydraulic system. If you get air in the brake lines, it creates a spongy pedal with almost no stopping power. In a panic stop, your foot could go straight to the floor and you won't stop in time. This is the one job where the consequences aren't just financial, they are life and death. A botched brake repair can lead to thousands in damage, but more importantly, it can lead to a horrific accident. So what's the solution? For most people, the answer is simple: leave brake work to the professionals. The risk is just too damn high. While some experienced DIers can do a brake job safely, it takes meticulous attention to detail and the right tools. If you are not 100% confident, don't gamble with your safety and the safety of everyone else on the road. So there you have it, the 5 DIY fixes that are secretly destroying cars all over the place. From a simple oil change to a full brake job, a tiny mistake can have massive consequences. The key takeaway here isn't that you should never work on your own car, it's that you have to know your limits and respect how complex these machines are. Avoiding these common mistakes can save you thousands of dollars and give you the peace of mind that your car is actually safe and reliable. If you found this helpful and want to keep your car on the road and out of my shop, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more real-world tips from a mechanic who's seen it all. And now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know. What's the worst car mistake you've ever made or seen someone else make? I read all the comments and I know there are some wild stories out there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.